So I recently posted a video on how to throw a glitch over 300 feet. Somebody in the comment section wanted me to actually show how I do it. Fair enough. If I claim that I can do something, well, I should probably put the money where my mouth is. So here's a video of me throwing the glitch over 300 feet. Actually 360 feet to be more accurate. That's over 110 meters, or about 110 meters. A little bit of a tailwind, admittedly, but I didn't do anything differently that I would have done with another disc. So as I claimed, I can throw, and I think everybody should be able to throw the glitch how they throw their NVs or whatever normal putters or even mid-ranges or fairway drivers or distance drivers they have. Because I don't change anything when I throw the glitch or when I throw the rock or whatever mid-ranges or whatever disc I have. I do the exact same thing. Even the grip is the same. So how do I actually throw the disc? Well, let's just dive into it. So in this video, you'll see how I take a direct run-up towards the intended release line. So I'm not promoting the diagonal run-up. People will argue that every pro takes a diagonal run-up. Well, I don't think that's the case, really. The pros that I personally like to copy from are like Eagle, pretty good. And one of my all-time favorite distance throwers, Alex Geisinger, they take a direct run-up towards the intended release line. So if I was about to take the diagonal run-up, my disc would go towards the rainbow colored container, but I'm taking a straight run-up. So this is what I teach, this is what I do, this is what I try to do, and I think that it's just the most effective way to throw the disc, because that way you are not putting your whole body in front of the disc so that you don't have to go around the disc and you don't have to rotate as much, because I think rotation is a very slow way to move the disc and it can hurt your back in the long run. My back is pretty bad, so I try to protect it at all costs. The next thing I want you to notice, that even if my arm goes from out to just a little bit in and then very far out, that is something that nobody's trying to do, at least the biggest pros, and I don't try to do that, but that ends up happening anyway. So this is something you really need to notice, that even if something looks like it's happening in the body and is actually happening, that doesn't mean that you are actually doing it. Super important. So what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to pull or curl the disc towards my bicep. I want to get as deep as possible. And then I just try to be as relaxed as possible and let the disc pump out. So this is what I'm trying to do. It ends up looking like I'm pushing the disc out from my left pec, but that's just a flaw that I'm not happy with, that I'm working out of. But I'm trying to get as deep as possible and then let the disc rip out, because that's the way it just happens. But if I didn't try to get as deep as possible, the disc would launch out even earlier than this, and I would probably end up rounding. So this is what happens, and that's what I'm trying to do. The next part is that I'm not trying to rotate. Now, this is a deep pit that people will fall when they look at the players. It's true that your back will be facing the target, and when you throw, your chest will face the target. So naturally, you try to rotate, right? Well, wrong. That is a byproduct of the weight shift plus the arm swing. You end up rotating around because you do that, or because the pros do that. You don't want to rotate forcefully. This is something I will not promote again. I was there, and quite a many beginning coaches like overthrow, he was there too. Now he isn't. I was there, now I'm not, because we know better. So even if we look like we rotate around, and even if the pros look like they rotate around, that doesn't mean that they try to force their rotation. It only means that they do the weight shift so that they have only one supporting point, and that is the front leg. And as they try to pump the elbow forward, they just naturally rotate too, because there's no other way to do it. That's how the body just works. That's how your body will work too if you let it go, if you let it happen. If you were to look at this without knowing that I'm just a shitty player who just wants to coach people, if I was a world champion and I would throw like this, you would say that, hey, the best way to throw a disc like this is to rotate as much as possible. But I'm here to tell you that I'm not doing that. My body does it, but I'm not doing it. There's a big difference between a conscious movement and what ends up happening anyway. If I were to rotate as fast as possible, I would probably slam my chest to the disc and I wouldn't be able to throw the arm as fast as possible because I was only about to rotate and I was round and I would take all the space from between the chest and the disc. And that's not good. So I'm not rotating, I'm not advocating anybody to rotate, because the rotation is a byproduct of a decent weight shift and the arm swing. I want you to take a look at my head. My head ends up turning towards the target with the disc. Also something that I'm not trying to do. I want to keep my head still. I don't want to turn it as fast as I'm doing, but it's just something that I cannot fix. I'm not sure what happens here. I'm not sure how could I fix it to be better, but I want to keep my head still. Because if I turn the head too early, I'm not actually doing that now. It's pretty good. But if you look at Garrett Gerthy or David Wiggins, who are one of the biggest guns out there, they keep the head pointing backwards a lot longer than I can do. And I think that's the secret, one of the secrets for their big distance. Because when they turn when the head turns like this, your shoulders will also turn. And as I told you before, we don't want to turn the shoulders too quickly. We don't. If you turn the head like this, your shoulders will turn, and guess what? You will start rounding again because you're just slamming the chest to the disc. And that's just slow. The arm is fast. Chest is slow. So this is why I don't want to turn my head. I want to keep it still for as long as possible. It could be better, but I'm pretty satisfied with this. Now, the leg work, apart from taking a direct run-up, also very important. One of the most important factors in all of backhand shots. To get all of your weight to the front leg and to the front hip, that there is nothing in the back leg anymore. So this is why you actually rotate as fast as you can, because the back leg is not anchoring your body anymore. And if you think that you have to kick your body into rotation, well, that is the worst advice ever. Because if you just, again, want to rotate as fast as possible, there are plenty of ways to do that, but we don't want that. We don't want to do that. We want to throw the arm as fast as possible. And if you think that your body rotating is faster or more powerful than the arm swinging forward, well, good luck. It doesn't happen like that. What you can do with the back leg is that you can swipe it behind you so that it's a counterweight, giving you more balance and actually preventing you from over-rotating. And getting that out of your way and getting that off the ground as quickly as possible so that you have only one supporting point. Because if you have the one supporting point and all of your body falls to your front hip, your body gets to rotate at its own pace. Super important. Now the follow through, that's important, but that's also a very easy part because you just have to let go. You only have to let go and let the body rotate. Again, we're not rotating the body, we let it rotate. This is the thing. And if you try to stop your arm from swinging, then you stop also the rotating. But if you want to rotate the body, you do it with the arm swinging around you. The body wants to rotate with it if you let it. That's the secret to rotation. Now, once again, when you look at this throw, you would say that looks pretty darn good. Let's copy it. And when you look at it, you say, hey, the back leg goes first. You have to knee drop, right? Well, no, because I know exactly what I'm doing here. I'm not dropping the knee. I'm switching the weight from back leg to front leg, and I let all of my body weight go towards the front leg and onto the front leg, which means that I have to let the left leg also drop down. That's because I switched the weight, the pressure. When my left leg is relaxed, as it should be, then the knee caves in. But I don't do it consciously, and I'm pretty sure nobody that bombs does it consciously. So these are the things that you do and the body does. If you try to do something that the body would do anyway, guess what? You're doing it too early, because things happen when they can happen and when they will happen. If you try to jump the gun and drop the knee, well, you're doing it before the body would do it, which means you're early. You would just mess up with the timing and probably also get hurt because your body doesn't want to do it, but you're forcing it to happen. So don't do it. So this is how I throw the glitch 360 feet. Pretty decent technique, I would say. And this is all that I consciously do. And when I want to boil it down to only two things, it's weight shift on the front leg, the front hip, and the arm as fast as possible towards the target. That's it. Whatever happens between that process is the body taking over because I let it take over. I'm not forcing anything to happen. And that's the secret to a relaxed, smooth throw and release, which is the utmost importance when you throw the glitch or whatever discs you might be throwing. Good luck and happy practices. Bye.